conscious are you of the air that you breathe? Air pollution continues to be a threat to human health. Tomorrow, we commemorate World Health Day, and the theme for this year is Health for All. Joining us to discuss air pollution and the overall air quality and the impact of it on our health is the director of air treatment company Solenco, Trevor Brewer. Trevor, good afternoon. Welcome to today, and thank you very much for your time. How bad is the situation of our polluted air? We know that for years now, Eskom has been the biggest culprit.
Hi, Dan. Yes, thanks for having me. Absolutely, the air pollution in the country is terrible. Eskom is actually one of the biggest air polluters as a power utility in the world, which is hugely concerning. And they release a toxin known as sulfur dioxide, and a number of studies have been conducted, and it's estimated about 2,200 people die every year as a result of this air pollution. That's obviously only one aspect of the air pollution, but air pollution can be found in all sorts of things.
Before we move on to the others, just on this one that you've mentioned of sulfur, what are people dying from? What are these ailments that the sulfur dioxide in our air is causing?
So it's mainly linked to acute respiratory diseases as well as heart diseases. So there is a link to that as well as cancer. But yeah, these are all long-term health effects that are being felt by the sulfur dioxide in the air and people breathing in that air pollution.
And sadly, Eskom needs to generate more power. Currently, it's battling, as we know, to maintain the coal-fired power stations. And we had a briefing earlier today from the electricity minister. One of the things he said is that the carbon emissions regulations are prohibiting Eskom from continuing to generate more electricity the way that they are used to. But they have still to carry on.
Absolutely, Dan. Obviously, with the electricity shortage, it's vital that we bring up supply to match the demand. However, this is going to have a long-term impact on us, and I think as a country we'll feel the effects for a long time to come.
Yeah, and meanwhile, our health hazards are going to be increasing because of such harmful emissions. You were moving on a little bit earlier to other types of pollution, air pollution, indoors, for example.
Yeah, Dan. So air pollution is made up of a number of elements, with sulfur dioxide obviously being the one, but we can go everything to even within your home, where when you're using an aerosol to spray a cleaning detergent on, say, wooden surfaces, it releases a volatile organic compound. And once this is released into the air, obviously it impacts that air quality, which can really affect your health in the long term. So obviously there's a number of factors that are at play. But there are ways in which we can mitigate this, and that's through the treatment of the air within your home.
As you're talking there, I'm thinking outside we're breathing sulfur dioxide. Inside we've got other pollutants, including the products we use to clean our homes. And we know that many homes in South Africa still have asbestos roofing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a massive problem. We know that sort of the building materials that were used back in the day have now been seen to be harmful. And these are all massive problems that a lot of homeowners face across the country.
Whose responsibility should it be to monitor the quality of our air, Trevor? And what can we do, for example, to combat the poor air quality, if anything at all?
Yeah, so ultimately, I guess it rests on a national level with government. It is their responsibility to ensure that we have clean breathing air. However, we can take a number of steps in terms of being in control of that air that we're breathing in ourselves. At Solenco, we pride ourselves in providing world-class air treatment products, which will essentially either prevent or remove these airborne allergens and pollutants from getting into your lungs. We sell air purifiers, which are sort of a very comprehensive multi-filtration air purifier, which will essentially remove a number of these allergens from the activated carbon filter, which will actually remove that sulfur dioxide from the air, to our medical grade H13 HEPA filter, which removes other airborne allergens such as pollen, dust mites, and the likes, to a VOC and UV light, which will actually kill any airborne viruses or bacteria. So we encourage the use of an air purifier, specifically a multi-filtration air purifier within your home. This will help protect you and your family to ensure that you sort of remain healthy and be healthy. We take great care in understanding what we eat and making sure that we exercise, but we don't spend as much thinking about actually the air that we're breathing in, which can impact us just as much as a healthy lifestyle or lack of a healthy lifestyle.
If you can afford to buy such a device, an air purifier, I mean, what should you consider? What should you look for? Because there have been so many products in the market, and some may claim they have one thing or another that is essential. What should you, as a consumer who can afford a quality air purifier, look out for?
Yeah, great question, Dan. So one of the biggest things that we see is people looking for this multifaceted filtration system. So you want to ensure that the air purifier that you're buying is actually removing the allergens or air pollutants that you're wanting to get rid of. But then there's also an organization down in the Western Cape called the Allergy Foundation of South Africa. They endorse our Solenco air purifiers, which ensures that they have been scientifically proven to remove these airborne allergens from the air. You then also get, or in our opinion, you get a number of air purifiers that don't necessarily, or their filtration system doesn't necessarily last as long as they should be. The Solenco air purifiers last filter lifespan is 4,320 hours, which is the longest in the market. And this ensures that your air purifier is working optimally for longer, and ensuring that you don't have to replace your filters as often as possible.
Yeah, but just a final question. I mean, in your research, in your knowledge as a director of air treatment company at Solenco, I mean, our air is really heavily polluted. I mean, can we ever really protect ourselves from inhaling the toxic gas?
Yeah, I certainly think we can. I guess as an organization or as a country, we need to ensure that we are protecting ourselves in terms of holding industries accountable for pollutants that they release in the air, holding our government accountable to ensure that those standards are adhered to, but then also taking responsibility for ourselves, ensuring that if in our home we have good ventilation and getting rid of any carbon dioxide or volatile organic compounds that might be in the air, as well as using an air purifier. One of the biggest conditions we're going to start seeing now in the Western Cape specifically due to our wet and cold winters is the rise of mold and dust mites, and that is a result of high humidity levels within the air. Typically what would happen is any humidity level above 60% relative humidity will cause the mold spores to grow, and as such they release that into the air. That can then also have an impact on your health as it gets into your lungs, which can affect asthmatics or others who might be allergic to that. You do get a product that prevents the growth of mold, and it's called a dehumidifier, which essentially regulates those humidity levels, brings them down to acceptable level, which will prevent that growth of the mold. So there's a number of factors that we can do, and it's just, I guess, a personal responsibility to take to ensure that our families and loved ones are living in a healthy environment. Yeah, we would be more than happy to help.
No, thank you very much, Trevor Brewer. We wish you a blessed Easter weekend. He's, of course, the director of air treatment company Solenco. Ahead of World Health Day tomorrow, we're looking at challenges with the quality of the air